This is the setup video for Swift Escape 622. Okay, so first of all, when on site, this is your toilet compartment. If your locks are that way on, that means everything's locked. You turn it that way, sorry, that is locked. Parallel, that's unlocked. Okay. This one here, toilet cassette. Just a case of pulling a cassette out, taking the cassette to the toilet, empty site, and then emptying, and I'll show you a link to that separate video. Again, lock if you want to. Under here is the drain for domestic drain waste. Pull on the green cord just here, and then that tap is always undone. If you want to close it shut, you can do by turning that way and to undo that way, and to push back up like that. I tend to leave that wide open. This one here, this is your gas flow system. Again, I'll show you a video of how to fill that in the link, but take yourself to Morrison's up at Catcliffe. That's the nearest one, and extremely cheap to fill. Okay, gas flow system is filled up, and you can see the system inside here. So electric cable, European adapters there. Inside you will see tank that's permanently in there, and your gas level indicator. Currently switched off because we were very good and switched off. Alternate way, just turn the dial. If you turn it towards you, that opens it. Turn it away, that closes it. So we'll leave it open. This device up here is if you have an accident and you have a crash, that will automatically lock the valve as well. So there's a second safety mechanism. Short lead is in there for the electrics for you to hook up. So remember, when you do hook up, make sure that you plug in to the motorhome first and not the electrics, so you're not carrying live electricity around. Okay, this one is a little bit stiffer and you want it to be tight fit. Remember, hook up first here, cable goes through there, connects into there. You do need two hands and it can be quite a stiff push. Once it's in, you shut the cable in and you then lock it. The cable will come through a waterproof seal just in the bottom corner here. Back of the motorhome just here. You've got the reversing camera just there. Again, if it does get dirty, a little wipe and that should do it. Okay, back of motorhome, GB sticker just here if you do go out of the UK and into Europe. Water system filled up here. It is unlocked. As I said before, I suggest keeping it unlocked. To undo, just simply twist, fill up, and fill up until it starts pouring out. If you're finding it's filling up and it's just not filling at all, it can take a long time to fill, but check to make sure your drain valve on your hot water isn't open. Side locker just here. Again, if you've got any other tranquil nuts that you want to put in, you know, when you do your setup, like your leveling blocks, just go into here on the side. Step is decommissioned, but can be recommissioned, and we'll need the chain put back on. You see unlock key, so it is that key there. If we look at the number on the side of it, it's number 280, and that's for everything but the water, and then this one is for the water. So, inside the motorhome, when you come in, you've got this very first panel here. This is your main Swift control panel. So now that we know we've got the gas on, we need to turn the power onto the motorhome. This is assuming we're on 12 volts. We'll know if we're on 12 volts because this will be lit up here, but this button here will not be lit up because that indicates 240 volts. Press the view levels button to see your levels. You can see leisure battery's okay, car battery's okay. We know we're on leisure battery because it's hit there. If we push this button, it moves the battery to vehicle, but we don't use that if we can help it, and then move it back to there. Awning light is just there. You know it's lit on. Try and make sure before you go to bed that that's off, because that will annoy your neighbours. Okay, again, we've got cabin lights here. I always suggest leaving one light on when you go out, and then when you come in, perhaps put a sticker or something just there, or if you can feel it just here, you get to know when you come in that that's the button you want, and then you can just turn them on and off. Really, if you're on too faulty, you can leave them on anyway. Frost protect, you can switch on. If you're going in the winter months, anytime October, I would leave that on anyway, and that just stops the tanks from freezing. Don't leave that on if you're away from the caravan for any length of time, otherwise it does make it smell a little bit. And then to switch the water pump on, which is the first thing you need to do, is that button there. It will start to make a growling noise, and that's perfectly normal. That's the water just purging through the system. As you know already, when you first put water in, you are going to get spits and spots. We're not getting that at the moment, but that's okay. We know we've got water running through. So now we can go to this system called Truma. Truma is the one that runs the hot water and heating. So we push and hold, and Truma will switch on. First one here is the temperature of the motorhome, that's the heating. This one is the temperature of the hot water. This flashing one here, bring it back again. This is which power source you're going to use, and that is the speed of the fan. The power source is so that you can either use gas on its own with 12-volt electricity pumping the heat round the air system, or you can use gas and electric, or you can use just electric, or a combination of both at high power. Eco for me has been the best option. 21 really is all you need for a motorhome in temperature, and at night I'd put it down to 17 degrees to be fair. If we go in now to the button, so if we go along to here, turn it to Eco, your power selection are gas, mix 1, which is gas and electric, mix 2, gas and electric on its own, which is shorter volume, electric 2, which is 2 kilowatt, and then you've also got just gas. So we're going to select just gas at the moment. And then the fan system is on Eco as well. If you want to turn it all off, you press and hold and the system will go off. And you've also got timer functions for the hot water to come on, and you've also got the function there if there are problems or system errors, and to change the time. Instruction booklets are all in the blue bag, as are they are for everything, including the panel up here and all the equipment. That is the Truma system and the water. Remember, carbon detector has a battery, smoke detector does not. It's entirely up to you which you choose to do. Next video is the fridge. So the fridge itself has controls on the front. Remember, this one here is a 12-volt one. If we're just setting off now, we're going to put it onto 12 volts and it will alarm like that, and that's perfectly normal. That's because the engine's not running. When the engine runs, that will start it up and it will keep the temperature cool. What it won't do is turn it into a fridge. If you want it at fridge temperature before you set off, either use the gas function, which is that one there, and you will hear it click, but do not drive with this one. Again, if you're driving, it's just that one. And now it's started. Or if you're on a mains hookup site, before you go, you can plug your van in at home, press this button here. Again, it will beep because there is no mains hookup in a second. It knows that, okay? Again, if you leave your fridge open, it'll make a noise, but that's the colour of the fridge inside. And then on top, you've got the freezer. As we've said before, gas really is the best option for that. And then to turn off, that button there. Remember, before you set off, a little bit like an aircraft, you've got to make sure your cabin's ready. And it's things like this for the knife and fork drawer, where you'll see the battery for the smoke alarm. Literally push the button in and that stops the drawer from flying open. In this cupboard here, you'll see an additional drawer. That's generally where I keep extra large knives and anything really sharp. At the bottom